Good morning, everyone. Josh Hayes here with Hedge Plus. This week, I just want to offer some thoughts about what's going on with China. Really want to downplay the impact of the Supreme Court's tariff ruling. This past year, you'd think people would learn that spending the whole year saying China was done buying from us, and the tariffs were going to be a disaster for our economy and ignoring everything from the other side, from the other vantage point, talking about how China has all this leverage over us. You think people, after seeing China pay an exorbitant amount over what they could have paid for soybeans from Brazil, that people would maybe, understand what's going on and understand that we have a lot of leverage in this situation. The tariffs being overruled by the Supreme Court, I think Trump's anger with the Supreme Court there, I think is actually a little bit of theater. But I also think if he's angry about anything, it's the fact that revenue is lost. I know Trump wanted the tariffs to help lower the amount of federal income tax, if not eventually even replace it. I think that's what Trump's most angry about. But as far as leverage with China, it is still there. And one of the things that took place after the case was heard was what took place in Venezuela. I think those things are directly related. Trump has a lot of leverage over China in a lot of ways. Obviously, our market, their economy is still more dependent on us than ours is on theirs. But another thing that China is growingly dependent on us now is for oil. And it's because we obviously produce a lot. We have allies in the Middle East who kind of work with us and sell to the rest of the world at our wishes. We've now added Venezuela to the mix. Well, China typically got the majority of its oil from three places: Russia, Iran, and Venezuela. Now, they've been getting a little bit more from Canada lately, but it's not the type of oil that it works best for them. So by bringing Venezuela's oil under our control, I think, and now potentially seeking a regime change in Iran, you're looking at a situation where China can only get its cheap oil from Russia, and that's not enough. So I'll bring up an article right here. This is typical of what people are being told, have been told since the start of this trade war. Says Trump's already been playing defense in the trade war, given the effectiveness of Beijing's threat to cut off our rare earths, says Scott Kennedy, a China economics expert at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington. The tariff deal likely cements his weakness in their eyes. It does not. They talk about our dependence on rare earths. They never ever mention what China's dependent on us for. They need our microchips, our AI chips specifically. They have not developed chips capable enough in really a war for artificial intelligence. And so they're desperate need of that. They're desperate need for our market. Yes, there are things we need from China, which is why deals happen. And one of the things that Trump insists on from China is they buy our soybeans. He insisted on it last year, and they did. He's insisting on more this year, and I believe they will. So I just want to calm some of those fears and offer a different perspective than what you're hearing. It's unfortunate that our media likes to pick out one side of a story and spread that and not talk about the full picture. But I think China's action should tell people there's much more to this than China has us in some kind of vulnerable position. It's actually quite the other way around, especially if there's regime change in Iran, which is ultimately what I think Trump's after. I don't think Trump wants an all-out war in Iran. I think he's going to show power and show force to try and get Iran's leadership to leave voluntarily. If they do not, there probably will have to be some kind of military action to get them out. But I think that's really what he's mostly after here, is get a regime in charge in Iran that will be similar to like what we have with Saudi Arabia, where they produce oil and sell it pretty much at our wishes, and whereas Iran is selling cheap oil directly to China. I think Trump wants to put an end to that. It's also why Trump will want to deal with Greenland so we can get some of the needed rare earth minerals from them as opposed to China. Both sides are trying to gain leverage against one another. But to suggest that China has all the leverage now or had it before is just simply not true. So hang tight. Definitely think this is going to be a good year for soybeans. And just like last year, it might take a while to come to fruition, but the markets are holding up well, up another 5 cents overnight with beans. And I think there's a lot of smart people that realized that this is going to happen. Okay. Talk to you again next week. Thanks, everybody.